My favorite accessory is my zipper foot. I use it to control my stitching around stitch in the ditch and understitching and all of that sort of thing. So zipper foot is it for me. Hello, I'm Kathleen Cheetham. I'm an author, a pattern maker, a designer, and an online teacher. And one thing that I love doing is taking a pattern and seeing how many other styles I can make from that one design. So today what I'd like to show you is how you can take a simple blouse and change it into a maternity top. This is for you new moms, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So we're starting off with a basic pattern that has a side seam bust dart, and this pattern makes a little blouse like this, very simple, pretty little neckline, button front, choice of sleeves and choice of collar. The pattern itself comes from my book called Perfect Plus, and it's called the Shapely Blouse. Now let me show you how it looks once a very simple pattern manipulation has been done and we turn it into this sweet little maternity top. Let's get started. All we need to begin this project is the two basic pieces, the front and the back. No other pieces will be affected by the changes we're going to make. So front and back, I've taken the back, and what I want to do is, because you'll need a little more room, is I've decided to just straighten the side seams out a little. And this is what it looks like. I've gone ahead and done that. So here's this line, and it's just straightening the side seam on the back. And the other thing that we'll want to do is eliminate this torso dart. So we won't sew that in. It doesn't go anywhere, but it's not sewn in. That's all we have to do to the back, and I'm just going to put the back aside. All the rest of our work will focus on the front. That's where the tummy is. So the first thing we do is we take a ruler, and from the hem we draw a line straight up to the bust point. And I want to straighten this ruler so that it goes nicely in between the legs of this torso dart. If you wanted to be really finicky about it, the correct way to do it is to line it up to the straight of grain or the center front line and just ease that over so that you get an exactly straight line that's parallel to the center front. The other thing that you'll want to do before you do this is copy your pattern. It's nice to have both so that once the pregnancy is over, you can go back to your favorite blouse and there it will be. It's a pretty simple thing to copy your pattern. You can get pattern paper at your fabric store and just punch it out, use a needle wheel or an awl. This is my favorite tool. And what I do with the awl is just punch the points and go all the way around. You have your pattern paper underneath and a mat like this on the table so you're not damaging your surface underneath. And you'll want to mark it front and back. And that's, again, all the pieces you'll need to do. So back to the lines. Two lines are going to be drawn. The first has been drawn from the hem to the bust point. The next will go between the legs of the bust dart. And we're going to take it from the side seam to the bust point, just like that. Next, we put a little piece of tape right on the bust point. And all that's for is for a little bit of reinforcement, because this is going to become a hinge. So let's do some cutting. I'm going to cut the first line from the hem up to the bust point, and I'm going to stop just short. What I want to leave there is about 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch of paper. I'm going to swing this paper around now, and I'm going to cut from the side seam through to the bust point, but not all the way through. Just a tiny hinge is left there. It should swing nicely, no buckling. Now, watch this. I'm going to swing this dart, this bust dart closed, and I'm going to I can see all the way through this, but I'm going to take it right up to the notch and swing it closed. You can use a pattern weight to hold things in place. And I'm going to secure it with some Scotch tape. Then we're going to fill in this new area. Now, before I do that, I just want to point out what a wonderful manipulation this is. Isn't it great the way we could eliminate the fullness from this bust dart and put it where it's needed? It does not affect how this is going to fit over your bust. It does not affect the length of the side seam because if you had sewn this bust dart closed, it would be exactly the same length and it will still fit perfectly onto the back. So let's address our attention now to this new section. And all we have to do is place some paper underneath, patch it up, good old Scotch tape, and a few pattern weights to hold things in place. Another thing that is not affected is the grain line. The grain line remains exactly where it was, right here, so it will run perpendicular straight down to the floor. Nothing happened there. The positioning changed in the way this side seam changes. It just angles out, and that will be perfectly all right. If you were to look at the sample garment that I brought, you would see how this looks. So here it is here, and you can see it's obviously the same style, but the bust dart is gone. The bust dart that you see on this blouse, we'll turn her a little, right here, the bust dart is gone, and the fullness sits right through this tummy area. And the side seam is exactly the same as it started before. So don't be afraid that anything strange will happen. And the straight of grain line still runs down the center front section of the blouse, and this hangs correctly. Now I'm going to show you how to fill in this hemline. Sometimes people have a little trouble with that concept, and they think, well, if I put the ruler here and just drew a straight line, that's not quite right. Here's a really simple and correct way to do it. Take a piece of string. I'm using this lanyard, and what you're going to do is take your thumb and your other hand, your other fingers, and line up the bottom of this lanyard to the hem. And then place your thumb up on the bust point. Now what you're going to do is use this like a compass, just like you did in school. And so you can use your awl, and you can just punch one hole there and make sure that it's truly in the right place. And you could punch all the way across. I'm just holding it tight, holding my thumb on the bust point. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up, but I'm going to take the felt pen and make sure that you can see it. So you can also do it with this felt pen. We'll take it back here, and you could actually swing it right across, just like that. So that's a quick and easy way to take a favorite blouse and turn it into a maternity top.